Boba Fett. Boba Fett? Where? Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series, number 19, Han Solo with Carbonite Freezing Chamber. Okay, so looking here at the packaging, you can see that we have the TIE Fighter backdrop on a card which was available from fall 2014 up through the fall of 2015. It's a pretty nice card, but it isn't terribly exciting. It's a Star Wars Black Series, and then number 19, Han Solo. At the back, there's really nothing to see here. You get all these warnings in languages other than English, and just not very attractive. I know they did this with some of the Black Series packaging, but not all of it. In recent months, I've been picking up quite a few of these older Black Series figures from last year at GameStop, who's been carrying them for $9.99. And I've been able to get most of the figures that way. So I think $10 is a very fair price for a 3 3/4 inch scale Black Series figure. So if you want to check out your local GameStop, most likely you will be able to find some of these available. Okay, and here are Han Solo and the Carbonite block out of the packaging. The Carbonite block doesn't stand. You can see that it is tapered along the top and bottom, so you can't get it to stay upright, unfortunately. So it's just going to lay back like that, which is okay. We'll go ahead and look at the figure first. And as far as this guy goes, it's really a bit of a letdown. It just looks very washed out. There's not a whole lot of painted detail on there. The face is just painted in a very unusual way. I do think that the proportions look to be pretty good for the most part. He is sculpted in a pretty neutral pose, which is good. Though I feel like they did try to do a little bit too much with this figure without doing enough. If that makes sense, I'll elaborate in just a little bit. Han comes with a Carbonite block, of course, and a couple other accessories. Give you a close-up here of the face. This just looks like a disaster. Wow. I'm not so sure if it's the sculpt that's bad. I mean, the sculpt looks okay, but it's just painted crazily. It's like the eyes, they totally missed the mark when they were painting those eyes. Look how low they are on the face. He just looks like a melted Han Solo. Very Quasimodo sort of look about him. Very, very unusual. I mean, I don't know. This just does not look good in any way, shape, or form. It's also too pale. Eyes are very cartoonish, despite the fact that they missed, where they should have been painted. The eyebrows look okay. The hairline is mostly painted okay. There are a couple blank spots, as you can see there. It's sculpted pretty nicely, though. And, the hair is painted okay. It seems a little bit dark for Han Solo. The rest of the body, I do feel that they tried to do too much. I mean, there's a lot of texture here in his shirt. There's a lot of texture in his pants, but I really don't think it needed to have that much going on. And that's what I meant when I said that they tried to do too much with this figure, but did too little, because it just isn't quite right. I do appreciate the extra detail, for the sculpting in the shirt and the pants, but they just added texture, like there in the pants, for example, that wasn't there in the film. So they just try to do too much, and then the stripes on his pants are just a little bit strange looking. A little bit too strange. I think the color's a little off, and it just doesn't look that great. They try to do too much here, and the figure suffers for it, especially when you have the face looking like that. The boots look okay. They are a little bit on the shiny side, but they look like they did a pretty nice job with them. His hands, also a little bit pale, but they look okay. Not really sure why he's got them both in this gun holding position. They don't really need to be like that. I mean, he's just unfrozen from his Carbonite block or going into his Carbonite block, depending on how you want to depict this guy in your shelf or diorama. But I think they maybe could have done without that. Maybe just made him closed fists or, one open fist. I don't know. It is what it is. In the way of articulation, you get a ball joint here at the head and a pretty good range of movement with it. You get hinging at your shoulders, so you get a good range of movement with them, hinging at both of the elbows and then swivels at both of the wrists. Now, the plastic on here is a little bit rubbery, and if you see me kind of like moving his wrists around, you can kind of see the pegs just bending. If I bend his elbows at 90 degrees or almost 90 degrees and then try and pull him down by holding the wrist, it just feels like it's going to pull out. So you want to be careful with that. Very rubbery plastic here. You get a swivel at the waist. You get your typical swivels at both of the hips. They don't get a full 90 degrees, but they go up a good little bit. You get hinging at both of the knees and then hinging at both of the ankles, and there is no ankle pivot present. In terms of accessories, you get 2 sets of handcuffs, and I believe these ones are for his hands, and very simple. I think we've seen the same accessory before with other figures. Luke Skywalker comes to mind from the vintage collection. I'm not sure if this is the exact same mold of that accessory, but it looks to be pretty similar. These cuffs here are meant for his legs. I don't quite remember Han wearing cuffs on his legs in the film. I know he was walking around while handcuffed in Jabba's palace, but they threw him in here anyway. And here's a shackled up Han Solo. And as far as the connection there for the legs, it looks okay. It's not too bad. The hands, though, are very hard to get on there. You can see that I don't really have them on. I mean, aesthetically, it looks like he's handcuffed, but, you can easily just pull them off. And the reasoning for that, I feel, is largely because of the way that these cuffs are made. You have one that's oriented in this position, and then the other one is in a different position. So if they were just regular cuffs and both positioned, I think more like that, they would work a little bit better. But Hasbro always does this style of cuff, which may be movie accurate, but functionality wise just doesn't work all that well. Okay, now it's comparison time. Let's go ahead and bring in the 2006, the Saga Collection Han Solo that also came packed with a carbonite block. There were a couple others as well from the 90s, from the Power of the Force 2 days, which are pretty outdated, so I'm not going to bring those in for comparison. But since this is the most recent one before the Black Series, I thought we could look at that one. And you can see that the differences are pretty frightening. And I say frightening because the 2006 one from a decade ago just looks a lot better and more in line with what we saw from the film. The other one just looks like some sort of a third-party knockoff, and it's really bugging me quite a bit because the new one should be the best ultimate version of Han in this outfit, and very sadly it is not. I do kind of feel like the proportions may be a little bit better on the Black Series version, but the head is a little bit too big, and I'll go and give you a close-up here of the two figures so that you can have a look. I've always felt that the Saga Collection Han had a very awkward expression on his face, and I'm just kind of taking it to mean this is Han when he came out of the carbonite block. He's got the dirt there on his shirt, so he's probably a little disoriented, but it still looks better than the Black Series version by far, and part of that could be due to the way that they painted this one. But I don't know, I just feel that the sculpt on this one looks a little bit better to me. It looks a little bit more like Han Solo. This other one just looks like it could be anybody, really. And the outfit is nicely done. Like I said, they tried to do a little too much with the Black Series one. If you look at the Saga Collection one, the outfit is a lot more simple, but it does have just enough texture to the shirt and to the pants. They didn't go overboard with it like they did with the Black Series version. I think that this is great. If they went back, did this one again with a new head, maybe a little bit more articulation, I think it would be the ultimate Han Solo figure. But it's very clear no matter what that they still haven't given us the ultimate Han Solo in carbonite outfit action figure. And they still got some work to do before they do that. But for now, I think that the Saga Collection one is certainly a better figure over the latest Black Series version. Okay, now as for the carbonite block, here it is, and this actually does look really good. Like I said earlier, it doesn't stand because the edges of the block are tapered, but it does look very good. Aesthetically speaking, you get a lot of nice sculpted detail here. It's got a finish here that's kind of like an aluminum type look. It's not too shiny, which it shouldn't be, so I think it's a perfect aesthetic here. Very nicely done. It is a little bit on the thick side. I don't think it was quite this thick in the film, and the back of it is just pretty plain with this very obnoxious CE information there. But I mean, if you just look at it from the front or from the sides, it looks good. It's just a little bit too thick, in my opinion. It still looks great, and they did sculpt the sides of it, so you do get some details on all four sides. And on the sides here, some pretty nice sculpted detail. And on this side, you get some paint here for the indicator of Han being in hibernation, and that looks pretty good.
I think it would have looked nicer if they would have painted all of them, maybe, because there's no paint on this side. But, they got it where it counts, which, right there is where Lando checked to see that Han was successfully frozen in carbonite, and where Princess Leia turned off the switch to release him from his carbonite prison. Okay, and now I have all 4 of the carbonite blocks from the modern Kenner/Hasbro Star Wars line. In my hand, I have the Black Series version. To the right, I have the Saga Collection version that came with the Han Solo I just showed you. To the right of that, we have the Power of the Force version that has the thawed carbonite block and came packed with the Jabba the Hutt's Palace 3D cardboard diorama. And to the right of that, we have the Power of the Force 2 carbonite freezing chamber that came with Han Solo in 1996. So as you can see, we have come a long way. Unfortunately, they have gotten smaller over the years. The one that came out in 1996 is the most movie accurate version in terms of size. As you can see, it is quite big, and it is nicely proportioned on the sides. I don't think it's too thick. And in the back, which was very cool about this one, is there was a little clip so that you could clip your Han Solo figure in there. The one that came out with the cardboard diorama also came with the Han Solo figure that had slicked back hair, and it looked like he had just come out from the carbonite block. And that's basically what this is here. It's pretty simple. It's really nothing too fancy. There's no stickers on the side of the carbonite block. And I think this is probably the most inferior of the 3. In 2006, we got this version here, which is kind of simulating when Han was being thawed from the block, though he's still in there quite obviously. You see his body in there, and it has like a translucent plastic here on the side, and you can see pretty nice sculpted detail on the sides, but again, it is too thick at the back. There is some space in there so that you could place a figure in there, but there's nowhere to clip him. So if you do put a figure in there, he is simply going to balance in there just like that, which really isn't ideal, because if you look at it, the Han figure is way too big compared to the carbonite block itself. So I liked what they were going for with this one. I think maybe a light up feature would have been especially cool, but it's just too small for my liking. The latest one, on the other hand, if you look at them together, is just a lot better. It's a lot more what we would expect with a carbonite block, and you can see it's a little bit thinner, but it's a little bit taller, and definitely more in line with what we saw in the film. Of course, the size is still too small. If they would have gone back to the 1996 carbonite block and gave it this level of detail that we have with the Black Series version, I think it would have been perfect. So like with the Han Solo figure in this outfit, they have still yet to give us the ultimate carbonite block, and I think that the 1996 one probably comes closest, and I especially like that you can clip your action figure in there if you do not want to have it on display. The detail on the Black Series one is still better, but it is just not quite as useful as the original from 1996. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, number 19, Han Solo with Carbonite Freezing Chamber from 2015. It's an okay set overall, though I am extremely disappointed with the Han Solo figure. It's just not a very good figure at all. In fact, it's bad. I don't recommend that you pick this up because of the way that it looks. Perhaps other samples are painted more nicely than mine is. It's just really dreadful how the eyes are painted so low onto the face. No pun intended there. And the outfit is just a little bit overdone. Pants are too shiny. Articulation is nice, but it isn't everything, and this figure is evidence of that. If you want a really solid Han Solo figure in this outfit, then I'd say go back to the 2006 version, which is a better figure all around, despite the fact that it doesn't have the same articulation. It does have some articulation. You can swivel the elbows, and I think that it is sufficient and will definitely get you by. As far as the carbonite blocks themselves, that's where the new one does have the edge. The Black Series version just looks fantastic, very nicely sculpted, very nice paint on it. I do like the detail here. I really don't like the back all that much. I think it would have been nice if you could have put your Han Solo figure inside, especially if it would have had like a sliding tray or something so that you could open it up. Imagine how cool that would have been. Of course, that wasn't meant to be, and as far as sizes go, I think that the proportions on the Power of the Force 2 version is the best in terms of overall size, but I do like this one a little bit more in terms of details. So if you're going to buy this set, get it for the Carbonite block, don't get it for the Han Solo, and try not to pay more than $10 for it if you can help it. Go check out your GameStop. They may have them in stock still, which would certainly be the way to go. On a scale between 1 to 10, I am going to go ahead and give this set a 5. I like it for the Carbonite block. I don't like it for the figure, so it's kind of a 50-50 type thing. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this Han Solo with Carbonite block from the Black Series, whether or not you're planning on picking it up or have done so already. Be sure and follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest collecting news and updates, and as always, I do want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time my friends, bye bye.